Today, during my day trip, I hit 1,000 miles on my Ryker rally. So much fun. So I want to share with you my impressions after the first 1,000 miles on the Ryker. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. On today's one-tank ride around the scenic Texas Hill Country, I'm going to share my impressions of the Can-Am Ryker after my first 1,000 miles on it. First, this is a map of where I'm going today. This route covers some residential areas, open white space, winery, as well as quirky Texas interesting stuff. So I got this Ryker because I know a two-wheel motorcycle is not for me. I have horrible balance and I know I will tip over and hurt myself on the two-wheel motorcycle. And I'm also short, so I really can't reach the ground well given my height on most two-wheel motorcycles. This Ryker, having three wheels, two in the front, is extremely stable. There's no issue with it tipping over on curves or turns, so I don't need to worry about balancing the bike. The Ryker has adjustable handlebar position and foot peg position, which is a godsend for short people like me. No tools are needed to adjust the handlebar distance and the foot peg position. So I'm able to play around with them easily to find out what they should be in to allow me to be most comfortable while riding. I'm a new rider and I had fears about going on the highway. Not so much about how fast it can go because plenty of people said that this machine has the power to go on highway speeds and beyond, so that's not the issue. The fear was in handling. Is it going to feel turbulence when huge 18-wheelers go by? And how is the control at such high speeds? Well, the Ryker definitely has enough power and weight. So you definitely do feel a little bit of turbulence when massive vehicles pass, but it's not an issue. Now, at high speeds, you really get a lot of feedback from the Ryker if you have a little bit of unevenness in the road. This is similar to if you drive a car without power steering, you get similar feedback. Ryker does not have power steering, unlike a Spider. So you feel swaying or getting pulled on the road, which is very disconcerting for a new rider. I started out having a really firm death grip, which really magnifies the feedback. Now, what do I mean by feedback? Well, actually, this is what my hubby tells me about feedback. In a regular two-wheel motorcycle, your handlebars are wider than your wheelbase, right? So when there's unevenness in the road, you don't really feel it in your handlebars that much. But in the Ryker, your wheelbase is quite wide, wider than your handlebar. So when the wheels feel a bit of unevenness in the road and get pulled slightly, that feedback seems to get magnified into my handlebar, so it feels like I'm getting pulled to different positions in the lane. Again, that's very disconcerting to a new rider who has a really firm death grip because you feel like you need to correct it and get the Ryker back into the lane. But actually, now that I can let go of my death grip and let my arms be noodles, it's not really a problem anymore. I just know that the Ryker will wiggle a little bit. I just let it wiggle and it will come back to where it was a moment ago. So it's not really an issue for me anymore. Now, some people swear that getting a new sway bar and end links really helps with that. I can't really speak to that because what I have is the stock. And the stock handling has been fine. Another difference between the Ryker and other two-wheel motorcycles is that it's a lot wider. right? So a lot of two-wheel motorcycles need to veer towards the left or the right parts of the lane as part of maintaining safety to make sure that other vehicles see the two-wheel motorcycle. I don't find that to be an issue with the Ryker. The Ryker is as wide as a small car, so changing lane positions to increase your visibility to other riders is not needed. Gas gauge. The Ryker does give you a gas gauge, which is more than what a lot of motorcycles give you. But the gas gauge is not that accurate, which is why so far I've still been limiting my rides to 1 tank so that I do not run out of gas. You need to track your own gas usage and not rely on the Ryker gas gauge. One advantage the Ryker has over other motorcycles is it has reverse gear. Once you master how to reverse into a parking space, you will be the envy of other motorcyclists. What else? The stock mirrors suck. There's just no questions about that. And it's a safety issue, so definitely replace it with something else that gives you better awareness of your environment because it's a safety issue. Windshield. I like this little windshield. It protects my body from most of the wind buffeting, but I still get a good dose of wind therapy. On a motorcycle, I feel so much more connected to the land. You're super aware of each little curve and hill and valley in the road, and it just gets you connected to the land and the scenery in a way that is very different than in a car. And I love it. I think this is a wonderful little machine to get a new rider like me into motorcycling. So after 1,000 miles, I give the Ryker a big thumbs up, and I would definitely buy it again. If this is helpful for you, please check out other short videos for the Ryker in my Urban Dingo channel. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ride safe.